U-80 has slipped her moorings and is departing on another war patrol. While the boat was in port, I have taken the opportunity to travel to Germany and visit relatives in Westphalia. The things I have seen and learned there leave me in a pensive and troubled mood. The war with the Soviets is progressing very well. Huge numbers of soldiers have been taken prisoner. Leningrad has been encircled, Kiev too. According to the news reports, both cities will soon fall, just like Smolensk did earlier in August, leaving Moscow as the next big target. So overall, the war seems to be going well enough. According to the news, even great. Surely they wouldn't exaggerate anything. After all, according to them, the war in the Atlantic is going so well that if you add up all their claims of ships sunk by U-boats in the Luftwaffe, by now we have sunk the grand total tonnage of the British merchant fleet about 2 or 3 times already. A joke not appreciated when I told it at a family gathering with neighbors. The mood in Germany is markedly different from the last time I was there. People are afraid to speak their mind, even more than before. I have to be careful, being blunt and forward with criticism, regardless of who is present, is one of my flaws. The accomplishments and medals that I have heaped upon myself might be the only reason why, so far, I haven't been invited to a talk with the Gestapo regarding my loyalty to the political leadership. Many others were not so fortunate. And a scandal that came to light recently makes me question who we are fighting this war for. Leaflets with recent sermons from the Bishop of Münster are being passed on in secret. In his sermons, he heavily criticized the terror of the Gestapo, demanding justice, arguing that even the most decent and loyal citizen isn't safe from being taken out of his home by the Gestapo and disappeared into one of their cellars or camps. That the people, reduced to a state of permanent fear, are not destroyed by Allied bombing, but by negative forces from within. In my opinion, he is now shouting from the pulpit what others have been too afraid to say publicly for too long. In his most recent sermon, though, he condemned that the horrible murder of physically or mentally disabled people is being perpetrated by the authorities in secrecy, under the argument that those people are unproductive and therefore unworthy of life. What a mad, monstrous, inhuman and godless way of thinking this is. Humans are not machines, to be discarded if they are broken. The bishop asked the question if we are all worthy of living only as long as we are deemed to be productive. Will this practice be broadened to include those who are old, work-disabled, or wounded war veterans? The sermon is being discussed in hushed tones and closed circles. Everyone is very troubled by this revelation and its implications. People are angry and anxious about what will happen if the bishop should be arrested. I sincerely ask myself if this is the empire that we want to build by winning this war. Are our high and mighty leaders aware of these acts? Are they just perpetrated by a circle of soulless party fanatics? God knows there are enough of those spineless bootlickers to go around, trying to brown-nose their way up the hierarchy with anticipatory obedience, one-upping each other with displays of self-importance and cruelty. One only has to observe their behavior towards people who they don't consider to be German enough to realize how morally bankrupt they are. I hope that the war ends soon, and when it ends, they won't be able to use it as justification to further reduce our freedoms and liberties. In fact, they will have to roll back the draconian directives and laws that they enacted as wartime measures. And that is what I'm fighting for now. A quick end to this war. We have arrived in our designated patrol area, which is, once again, BE 63, just west of Brest. Bad weather is already putting a strain on the crew, and it looks like it might be getting worse. Oh, it did get worse. Much worse. Visibility is basically zero. The rain is pouring down, the wind is howling. Waves are climbing all the way up to the conning tower. We stay submerged most of the time, to reduce the impact of the waves on the boat. Even if the hydrophone operator should pick up a contact, we would be completely unable to engage in these conditions. The storm lasted a few days, and then the seas became very calm. The skies, not so much, as we found out to our horror, when suddenly a pair of enemy aircraft came racing at us.
Derzeitige Tiefe 2,0. Derzeitige Tiefe 3,0. Derzeitige Tiefe 4,0. Derzeitige Tiefe 5,0. Derzeitige Tiefe.
The watch crew managed to spot the aircraft from far away, giving us just enough time to dive. We were very lucky, and the crew was very relieved that we survived this encounter without taking any damage. We decided to stay submerged until the night, but later in the day the hydrophone picked up contacts, warships. We could see them through the periscope, destroyers patrolling the area. I think it's safe to say that the enemy is aware of our presence here and is actively looking for us. I just hope that this doesn't mean that they are routing all traffic around us. We already spent a few days in this sector without encountering any targets, and now it might be hopeless. Or this increased enemy activity might be a sweep in front of an incoming convoy. I'm prepared to wait a little bit longer before I make a decision to continue patrolling this sector or to ask for a new patrol area. Almost a whole week in this area without encountering a single ship apart from these two enemy destroyers. Very obviously, they were not there to sweep in front of a convoy. It's concerning that the enemy now has destroyers to spare to send out on U-boat hunts instead of escorting convoys. Our time here is up. They are looking for us, they are routing all traffic around us. I asked for a new patrol area.
Neuer Funkspruch, Herr Kaloin.
We soon receive a response. To U-80, new patrol grid BE93 assigned. Good luck. The new patrol area is not far away, just 300 kilometers south of us. We should be there tomorrow. Although it's not far away, I hope that it will bring us into the path of enemy traffic. We have spent 2 days in our new patrol area. 2 days without finding anything. The crew is bored. A boredom that suddenly vanishes when we receive a new radio transmission. To U-80, contact reported enemy convoy, grid BE66, course southwest, speed 9 knots. This enemy convoy was within our reach. An intercept course was plotted. The engines were set to high speed, the boat turned around. We raced towards our meeting with the convoy. Later in the day, we came across a single merchant contact in the distance. Unfortunately, that merchant contact was directly on our way to the meeting point with the convoy. I was unwilling to make a detour and lose time because of it, or to dive and wait until it disappeared in the distance. We didn't have the time to spare. We had to race ahead, to find the convoy before dark. I was willing to ignore this ship if it belonged to a neutral country, hoping that they wouldn't notice us, or to sink it with gunfire if it was an enemy. It took me some time to identify the flag flying on the mast. But then I came to the conclusion that we were looking at an American ship. That complicates things. It has been about 3 weeks since U-652 reported that they were persecuted and then depth charged by an American destroyer. The first time in this war that an American warship openly attacked one of our submarines. U-652 shot torpedoes at the American destroyer to defend itself. And the Americans are now blaming the incident on the submarine. A few days later, Roosevelt held a speech in which he put all the blame on the submarine, and then announced that American ships would not wait for our submarines to strike first. This forces us to assume that any American ship is hostile and will shoot at us on sight. It is a tense situation as we steam past this merchant. We are ready to dive at a moment's notice. The incident with U-652 has brought the US closer to entering the war in the Atlantic. And with Roosevelt's order, tensions will continue to rise. Later in the day, we spot smoke on the horizon, ships slowly appearing out of the fog. I immediately give orders to dive to periscope depth. The attack on the convoy can begin. Hello there, and welcome to a new episode of our amazing Silent Hunter 3 campaign with the OneAlex Mod Edition. You had to wait for a new episode for a long time, and now it's finally here. And I hope it will be a very interesting episode because we are attacking an enemy convoy. Let's take a quick look through the periscope. Let's see how is the situation looking here. Well, look at that. There are a few nice ships directly ahead of us. Let me first of all slow down our boat.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
I don't want to be detected because of sound. So we will be slowing down right now. I see a few really nice big merchants, and some of them are pretty much coming directly at me, which tells me that we are in front of the enemy formation, which is just excellent. So the weather conditions are, well, challenging. The waves are, well, the sea is perfectly calm, there are no waves. We have a wind speed of 0 meters per second, as you can see. And that, of course, means that I have to be very careful not to have my periscope spotted. I have to be very careful not to be detected by sound, because, well, their hearing will be very good in these conditions. The hearing of the enemy escorts, that is. So that is challenging. Looks like this here directly in front of me is the outer column of the convoy. Then we have the second column of ships, and then a third one. There's an escort. Do I see any more escorts? Do I see any more escorts? Yes, there's another one on that flank of the convoy. So we do have protection in the front and on the flanks at the very least. Probably more escorts behind the convoy as well. But we have arrived in a good position. It's really interesting, by the way. I had to change course because the American ship that we came across, I thought maybe they will radio in our position. And it seems that indeed they have done so, because soon after I received an updated position on the enemy convoy, and they had most definitely changed course. So did that neutral ship really call in our presence? It's a very interesting thought. Very interesting indeed. Right, how do I want to proceed with this? Well, since the seas are so calm and flat, and we still have daylight, I think I will only shoot electric torpedoes in this attack. I have electric torpedoes loaded in tubes 1, 3 and 4. So I will be using those 3 torpedoes for this initial attack. And then for follow-up attacks, when it gets dark, well, I do have some steam torpedoes that I can fire then, and another full salvo of electric ones. But for the initial attack, we will go with the electric torpedoes to help mask our position. Right, here's what we'll do next. Lower the periscope. I don't want the periscope to be spotted. I decreased our speed, and I will order silent running right now.
Beide Maschinen kleine Fahrt. 50 Umdrehung.
Decrease the noise levels on board even further. And very soon I will reduce our speed. Actually, I think I can do that right now. Reduce our own speed to 1 knot. That should drop the revolutions per minute to about 50. It should make it very hard for the enemy destroyers to detect our presence right now. Let's try maintaining the speed without losing too much depth in the process, because I do need to be at periscope depth. I do need to stay up here. Just by looking at this, let me look at this here. Are we now dropping? Yes, the needle is moving slowly. Okay. In that case, keep our speed at 2 knots.
Derzeitige Fahrt 2 Knoten.
About 90 revolutions per minute on both screws. That should be enough to maintain our depth, which I do need for a torpedo attack. Once we get closer to the enemy escort, I might drop the speed down to 1 knot again. Or maybe just turn the engines off completely and drift by the escort. Okay, so that is of course going to take some time. So I think we will jump ahead in the video until I am in a better position, until I know more about what's going on up there and what we are facing, and we can start picking our targets. See you soon. Welcome back. I have turned a little bit to get right in front of this outer column of enemy ships, because I want to have their precise course mapped down. They don't seem to be zigzagging as of right now, so I'm going to use this opportunity. And I'm almost in front of them. They are almost aligning, and when they do, which is right now, I will mark my own position right here, and we are gonna work out, weapons officer, we're gonna work out their course. Okay, I have them on a bearing over there. That means their course is... This is a bit hard to read actually. Their course is 184.5? Something like that. Yeah, something like that. So they are currently somewhere on this line. That's really good to know. That is really good to know. 74 degrees bearing. Yeah. Their course is 184 or 185 degrees. Okay, now that I know that, let's turn back around and head back towards the center of the convoy. There's the enemy escort. And it is time to start picking targets. I see a few ones that might be worthwhile. And I want to attack from within the enemy convoy to cause the maximum amount of confusion. I think that at this point it is pretty clear that we have evaded the enemy escort that is in front of the convoy. And we will now be heading back in. And now that we know their course, we already have one of the problems for a torpedo solution solved. That's just excellent. Oh, but now turning the boat around, that's gonna take some time. Let's use this time. The outer enemy escort, he shouldn't be a problem. Another one behind, okay. So multiple escorts on the flank of the convoy. One on the front to the side and one behind it. If that pattern repeats on the other side, then I'm already looking at 5 escorts confirmed. That's a lot. This convoy is well guarded. Oh, if I could get to that ship, that would be nice. Looks like that's a ship with a catapult plane on the front. But I don't think I'll be able to get close enough to that one. I will have to settle for this one maybe. For this one, look at that, another escort back there in the distance. Yeah, I think I will have to go for pretty much the second row of ships. Maybe this one. Or that one. Anyway, I will be shooting 3 torpedoes. And I think I will be shooting at least 2 of those torpedoes as a pair at one ship to ensure that I get at least one target. But it's still too early to tell what I will shoot at. We are completing our turn right now, that's good. I really do like the maneuverability of the Type 7. But let me actually turn a little bit harder than this. This turn is not sufficient. Turn that way. Bring me back into the convoy, come on. Always exposing the periscopes for just short amounts of time. I might want to take a speed measurement on one of these ships. But which one? I don't know their dimensions. But this one has a good and flat silhouette, so this might be a good opportunity for that. Stop the turn. Okay. This ship is not very long. I would say, oh, about 120 meters or something like that. Not much longer. Periscope front. Are we turning back? Yeah, we are still turning slowly back. That's gonna stop now. That's gonna stop now, come on. Yeah, it's pretty much stopping now. Get ready. Start. It did not stop. Maybe I'll choose the one behind it actually. Give ourselves a little bit more time here. Received a radio message, okay. I'll have a listen to that very soon. Or a look at that. That ship, I'll give it about 140, 150 meters, something like that. Good. And start the clock. very, very careful not to expose our periscope for too long in these calm waters. But I have to take the speed reading. Ready, and stop. 31 seconds. So about 30s... Oh wait, wrong chart. What am I doing? Let's... Oh, come on. So 30, 31. Oh, come on. Don't be finicky now. Where are you? 31 to... I think about 140, 150. That puts their speed pretty much around 9 knots, which is the reported speed for the enemy convoy. So that fits. That fits, actually. Turn a little bit more. Let's come to 95 degrees. Set up for 90-degree attack. And let's start setting things up. Speed 9 knots. Distance increased to 1 kilometer for now. Periscope forwards. Angle on bow will be 90-degree right. There we go. Good, we are getting ready. Soon it's gonna happen. Let's use the time to talk about why this episode was delayed for so long. Well, if you have watched the Gunner Heat PC video that I released last weekend, then you will already know the reason. I just had to work a lot. A lot. I took on some new responsibilities, a new role. Somebody who had that, he got sick and is leaving the company, and so now I'm stepping in and doing that stuff. And there were a lot of things that needed to be done at a deadline, and so I was working a lot, and I really do mean a pretty large amount. Much more than I really should have. And then, of course, things like making videos, that just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. When you have a day with double-digit hours of working, you don't have the energy to record a video. You don't even have the time to sit down and record a convoy attack like this one. It's not feasible. But sometimes work does bring one to interesting places, and if I don't forget, I will include for you a little goodie at the end of the video. Yeah, if I don't forget that, I'll do that. I'll include a little goodie at the end of the video where you can see a place where my work has led me to. So sometimes it really is interesting. Now, why should we wait until the end of the video? Let me show it to you right now. But first, a warning. If you have children or your wife sleeping, you might want to lower the volume. This was recorded with my mobile phone. Believe me when I tell you that the sound that you just heard doesn't do the real thing justice. Not at all. The thunderous roar of these engines, if you can experience it live, especially from a close range, that's really something. No microphone speaker combination can adequately capture that. If you have the opportunity to visit a racetrack one day, do it. It'll be worth it. Now I know that some of you will be asking about my line of work. Well, it doesn't lead me to a racetrack regularly. And, well, I do appreciate all of you, but the internet is a weird place with a lot of weird people. Therefore, I do not feel comfortable disclosing what my work exactly is or who I work for. Let me just say that it's a little bit unique, but nothing super fancy or special. Let me know in the comments if you have recognized this place, and maybe if you have visited it yourself. Now let's continue with the convoy attack. Okay, up periscope. Hello, you are too small to be worth my while. You are not, but I suspect that you are out of my range. Let's have a quick look. Flag height 1.9. Optical height, that is. Mast height on this thing 23 to 25. He would be within range. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, if he's going to be within range, that's a target. That would be a worthwhile target. He is second in position. Oh wow, these are getting close. I could try to shoot at that catapult carrying ship, and then at another one. Maybe this one here. Let's drop our speed.
Derzeitige Fahrt 1 Knoten.
Reduce the wake of my periscope. Let us... I think I will be doing it. I will be shooting at that ship. Torpedoes should be able to reach it just barely. I mean, it's not ideal with the range, but we have a pretty good chance of hitting it. Let's switch to a salvo. Tubes 1 and 4. Angle 1 degree. Yeah, 1 degree is perfectly alright. Open the tubes. Tubes 1 and 4 being opened. Range to target, what did I say? Something like this. That means torpedo runtime 3 minutes. Oh boy. Oh wait, missed it. Let's turn the periscope just slightly, that's fine. Oh come on, get... I'm blaming that, by the way, if I should miss. Okay, 3 minutes. You are the next target. Select torpedo 3. And let's reduce the torpedo depth a little bit, because this ship doesn't seem to be low in the water. Not at all. The masts on this ship are a bit taller, I think. Optical height 7.5. And the masts seem to be something like 27, 28, so that's about 800 meters. That makes it a runtime of just under a minute. Slow down our boat. I will have to shoot half a minute, then I have to shoot. But that should more or less be the time that the ship arrives in my periscope and my crosshairs. So that's fine. Open the tube. Torpedo tube open. Firing parameters looking good. Get ready to fire. And let's fire right under the funnel. Fire. Good, we are not getting greedy. I'm just taking a quick look around, see which way we will escape. There's an escort right there, so I want to escape this way pretty much. And dive. Let's immediately dive. Where's the carrier behind this one right now? We should see impacts any moment. There we go. One impact on this first one. Wow! Broke it in half. That thing's going down. Devastating hit. What about the other one? Did it detect me? Shit, I've been detected. No impact on the other two torpedoes. I might have been detected. Down periscope hydrophone. I hear my torpedoes. But I think that at this point it is likely that they have missed. Yeah, I think it's likely that both torpedoes have missed their target. Somehow. I'm blaming that thing, by the way. Absolutely am. I fired a little bit late. Those sounds, that's the sinking ship.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Derzeitige Fahrt 1 Knoten.
Let me increase our speed a little bit.
Derzeitige Fahrt 1 Knoten. Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Derzeitige Fahrt 2 Knoten.
Yeah, the torpedoes definitely have missed. Let's take a quick look at what we sank here. We sank a Ford-class freighter, 5,700 tons. That's good. And that thing was hit so well it just broke in half immediately. That's amazing. But now it's their turn. Now it's their turn. We need to dive before the enemy escorts arrive. Yeah, currently still turning. That is slowing us down, but the turn is now being completed. That should mean that we are able to speed up a little bit. Okay, past 20 meters. Good. I will keep heading down. And we'll see if the enemy escorts are coming this way or not. For now, let's hope they don't. Or let's hope that by the time they arrive here, I'm gone. Let's really, really hope so. Let's jump ahead a little bit in time. And we'll resume the video once I know my fate. Problems. The enemy's pinging. We have an enemy destroyer pretty close to us. Approaching from our side here. I'm now trying to turn the ship to present an error profile. But things might be getting very, very critical now. We might have been detected. Pings are getting faster. They have us. I'm pretty sure they have us. They're slowing down. Probably positioning for an attack pattern. I'm standing by. Rather zero. Boy. Be ready to punch it. Wait. Wait. Now! Punch it! Five knots. Oh, we are now diving very hard and with increasing speed. But this is gonna be a close one. This is gonna be a close one. You. I need you on repair station duty together with him. And a few other men that I can spare just now. Because things are about to get bumpy. Dive, 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 come on. And be ready to change course. Now.
Derzeitige Tiefe 1,0,0. Derzeitige Tiefe 1,1,0.
Depth charges in the water.
Derzeitige Tiefe 1,2,0. Derzeitige Tiefe 1,3,0.
Keep dropping. Keep dropping like a rock. Bring us straight down to 190. Oh boy. relatively close to us.
Derzeitige Tiefe 160.
Big pattern.
Tiefe 170.
Okay, slow down.
Derzeitige Fahrt 1 Knoten.
They dropped a huge pattern. Pinging. Have they turned around so soon? That must be a second escort. Maybe this one?
Derzeitige Tiefe 190.
There's no one there. This one should be closest to us. Heidephone, can you confirm?
Der Feind hat uns in der Ortung, Herr Kalon.
No. This one is closest. That's on an attack run. That's another escort. Just stand by for now. He has slowed down. That's the one that passed over us and dropped all those charges. He has slowed down and is now listening. This one is coming in. The question is, will he drop? Turn this way. It seems to be passing in front of us.
Hart steuerbar.
Hard to starboard. Yeah, he's passing in front of us. Even if he drops, we should be clear. Depth charges in the water. I think we should be clear. Let's keep calm. Keep calm. Keep heading this way.
Ruder 0 Grad.
Weather 0. Unless, of course, the other one is also dropping. Where is it? No, it's there. Jesus Christ, what was that sound? The hell? Okay, explosions behind us. That's where I thought they would be. Good. Our hull is protesting this abuse that it's taking. Oh yeah. But so far, so good. This is going well enough so far. I mean, of course I could have done without them detecting me, but it is what it is. And at the very least, it looks like we are on our way to escape if they don't pick us up again. We are very deep, so that's really helping. And right now they have created a huge disturbance in the water with all these depth charges that might actually throw them off. Throw them off our scent completely. Good. I'll keep heading more or less towards the north to get out of the convoy. And so that these guys hopefully leave me alone and join up with the convoy again. And let's just hope that they don't hit us with their depth charges. That we can just quietly slip away. But for now, let's take another listen. Where's everybody? 2 ships to the side. Oops. 1 there. 3 ships on that side. 1 ship coming in from this direction. Hydrophone. Who's the closest? 102, short range. Sounds like he's heading in. Sounds like he might be above me. That one is very slow. I heard charges being fired. Yeah, depth charges in the water. Behind us, I think. We should be alright. Just in case... No, we should be alright, I think. Keep heading this way. The charges need a while until they are at our depth here. Yeah, that pattern is exploding behind and above us. We are okay. Our hull is groaning, but other than that, we are okay. Good, I'll just keep heading away. Hope they don't detect me again on air-stick. And with a bit of luck, we should be able to get away from them. So, let's jump ahead a little bit and we'll resume the video once I have a substantial update for you. Welcome back. I think we have managed to evade the enemy escort. It looks like the other escort that was dropping charges on us, he disengaged and we were only pursued by one, and he relentlessly kept dropping charges somewhere behind me until he eventually grew bored, and I think he's now heading away from us because my hydrophone operator reported him at long range. So, if we take a listen, the bearing seems to be keeping steady. The sound is getting a little bit faint, so I think that thing is away from us. I can speed up again. And we can return to periscope depth. And once we're at periscope depth, we'll of course take a look around. And then we will eventually surface, if that warship is indeed far away. And we will chase down the convoy once again. I have drawn out their course. If they stay on this course, this is where they will be heading. And I've marked down their position in 1 hour intervals on this track. That should hopefully make it easier for me to get into a position to sail around them and get into a position where I can once again intercept them. But at the moment, this is the way they were heading, but this of course can change once again. Jesus Christ, this groaning of the hull is crazy. So this could change. It looks like this convoy is either heading south to get into range of Gibraltar air patrols and then continue around Africa, or they are bound for the Mediterranean. If they are bound for the Mediterranean, I think that we might expect another course change somewhere during the night to head more towards Gibraltar down here. So when I race after them and try to overtake them, I think I'll do it on their eastern side. So in the case that they do change their course further south or to the southeast, I might be in a position to intercept. So that's the plan right now. The plan is to get back to the surface and to then chase them down during the night. Look at this. We are thankfully rising back towards the surface. It's gonna take some time, of course. It really is. And once we're up there and once I've verified that the enemy warship is far away, I will also commence reloading the torpedo tubes and I will load all electric... Damn it, autoloading was selected. But it's fine. I will load all electric. So this one is going out, an electric one is going in. And I think they have scheduled another steam torpedo to be loaded into one of those tubes. That one will also be removed. We are going with an all-electric loadout. And that will be the setup for the next attack on this convoy. So, I think that for the first attack of this patrol, this went relatively well. We sunk one enemy ship of 5,500 tons, a little bit more than that, and we didn't die. So in my book that's pretty terrific. And we can hopefully go ahead and repeat the attack once more. But that will be something for the next episode. For now, let's keep heading towards the surface. Let's make sure that we are safe and that we can chase after the convoy. And I want to take the opportunity now to thank you all for watching today's episode. I do hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope that the wait hasn't been too terrible and that you are looking forward to more episodes of this. For now, once again, thank you very much. Let me know in the comments what you think of today's episode, and let me know in the comments what you think about the little goodie that I left for you in the video. And once again, I hope to see you again next time. Until then, have some really great days, and goodbye.